All right, welcome into I guess what started to be a daily thing. Uh, Guess we'll release some videos, see if anybody's watching. I don't know that anybody is, but we'll just keep doing it. A couple breaking things today, being the day before Thanksgiving. NFL wise, the one game that everybody was looking forward to on Thanksgiving, with the Steelers still undefeated, going up against the Ravens, who have been struggling. Everybody's waiting for that. When will the shoe drop with the Steelers? They're a good team, though. I know everybody kind of picks it. Who have they beat? They have a bad, they've been beating teams with bad records, and they've just been getting by. But hey, tough to win in the NFL. I mean, that's always been the case. Those other teams are professionals too. And at the end of the day, if you get a W, what's it matter by how many you win by? But looking forward to that game, and it has been delayed and pushed from Thursday to Sunday. Ravens had some guys test positive, especially at the running back position with Ingram and Dobbins. And then I assume with the contact tracing, easy for me to say, it was ruling some guys out, so they decided for the safety's sake to push that to Sunday, which, it sucks. I mean, it's great for safety. Hope everybody's okay. But that was the game you're looking forward to, that Thanksgiving Day game. I know you get a Washington game and a Dallas and Detroit, but, they haven't been much to watch here over the last couple weeks, even though Dallas got a win. But that was a game I think everybody was looking forward to, seeing if Baltimore could bounce back and the Steelers could continue winning. And this being the second time that the Steelers have had a game moved this season. The first time they had a week 8 bye, end up having to take a week 4 bye with their game against the Titans, and didn't find that out till midweek. So they basically had a bye week, but they didn't know they had a bye week. And, that week 4 bye week's tough in the NFL, especially for a team like that that's looking to make a playoff push. That makes for a long season. You got to keep going. And the fact that if they get by the Ravens and had things moved a couple times on them, I think that says a lot about the Steelers. And, I think it's weird that people still kind of sleep on them. I think it's the close wins that everybody's sleeping on, but that defense is no joke. Roethlisberger's started throwing as good as he used to when he was younger. I think that elbow was bothering him longer than anybody thought, and getting that fixed has really helped. And their skill position, especially a wide receiver, you almost don't know. I don't play fantasy. I'll do some daily fantasy stuff, but you almost don't know who to pick at the wide receiver core because they have so many of who's it going to be that day, who's getting the points. So it probably helps a little bit pushing it to Sunday. Obviously, it gives the Ravens a chance to kind of figure out what's going on with their team and who's all going to be available to play. And plus, it pushes it back to Sunday. So that quick turnaround game, you might be able to, and not that they're going to install anything. Everything for that game plan is probably installed, but it gives a little more rest up time. Guys get a little healthier coming into Sunday. Also in college football, before we get to the college football rankings, did come across today, a couple hours ago, that Nick Saban has tested positive and is actually showing symptoms. That's I'm reading that per ESPN. So I know he had a scare earlier in the season, but this one looks like he possibly has it now. So, hopefully Nick's okay and gets through that with everything. But coming up before the Iron Bowl, with Auburn, rivalry games, but not buying in that Auburn's going to be able to put up a lot of fight against Alabama. Auburn's I just don't think they're at that level. And if Saban's not able to be there, I think Alabama kind of rally up, and I would probably guess that game probably gets a little ugly. I think Alabama's going to handle Auburn pretty easily. I know rivalry games, you never know, but it just feels like Alabama's got that gear this year to get beyond not having your head coach there and still just probably put a pummeling on Auburn. That if I was a betting man, I would still take Alabama and whatever points they're giving up. I'm not even sure what that line is. I'm sure it's double digits, but I would still feel pretty safe about that. So me and Seth in the previous video, picked our picks for what the college football rankings would be. And as we said in that video, we were not great and obviously wrong. We had a couple spots right. So they came out last night with Alabama at number 1, Notre Dame at number 2, Clemson at 3, Ohio State at 4, Texas A&M at 5, Florida at 6, Cincinnati at 7. And then Northwestern at 8, which is great for Northwestern. Feel like everybody gets to be a fan of Northwestern. Like after your team that you root for, you always feel good for Northwestern because, very strict on academics and stuff like that. And they just always seem to be a pretty good, they're well coached. They don't miss tackles. That's just make everybody kind of roots for Northwestern. I think the most shocking thing to me was Georgia sliding in at 9. I just thought that was kind of weird for a 2-loss team to be there at 9 and Miami at 10. It doesn't. I know people can say, Indiana doesn't have a lot of marquee wins. They're sitting at 12, but they only lost by a score to Ohio State, and they had the ball at the end of the game. Put up some offensive numbers. Now, I'm not saying how great Ohio State is. Obviously, their defense is very flawed. But Indiana's only loss is to the team you have ranked number 4. So you get a 1-loss team behind a 2-loss Georgia team that just hasn't really looked good this year. And I don't think I'm alone in this, thinking that was kind of a weird thing for Georgia to be in there. Now, unless they're penalizing, I guess, Indiana because they just don't have that many games played yet, same as Ohio State. I assume Ohio State hadn't looked great this year. I mean, the level of competition in the Big Ten is not great, and they haven't looked good. They gave up late points to Rutgers. They gave up basically a late comeback, even though they still won that game against Indiana. So I could see having fewer games and just not looking great on the defensive side of the ball is a bit concerning. But I would have liked to seen Indiana in that top 10, or at least ahead of Georgia. I just thought that was shocking. I mean, I don't see any reason for Georgia to be ahead of them. They just haven't looked good this year. They've been struggling at quarterback. They've been moving guys in and out, and it's just been a blah kind of year. But I don't have a bunch of problems with that. I mean, I had Florida at 5, and I know Texas A&M beat Florida, but I think we kind of looking at it, it looks like as Florida's been coming along, I just feel like they're the better team right now. Now they'll get their chance, to maybe roll up against Alabama. And, Cincinnati at 7, I had them at 6. That's a good spot for them. I mean, they need some chaos to happen to probably get in. But I think that's the highest a non-Power 5 school's ever been ranked, especially in the first selection rankings. BYU didn't get a lot of credit. They're 9-0 and got ranked 14th. They were trying to get some games and stuff. The game with Washington fell through. They only got one game left, I believe, on the books. They put it out there that they have a couple open dates. They try to find some games, but that's going to be probably a pretty tough find, especially at that point in the season. As many games has been delayed and stuff like that, that you're going to have makeup games. It's going to be probably going to be tough to find an opening in there. It'd be nice, if the Big Ten wasn't so stingy, because Wisconsin has another game canceled, which means even if Northwestern would lose a couple games, Wisconsin can't get to the Big Ten championship game because now they're not going to have, that'll be their third game cancellation, and they're only going to have 5 games on their schedule. And the Big Ten says you got to have 6 to qualify to make the Big Ten championship game. And then also will not let them go find a game outside of the Big Ten, which kind of sucks because that's Wisconsin's a quality team. If they were allowed to make some of this time up and get a couple games, hey, Wisconsin, BYU, I'm in for that. I'd watch that happen. But other than not too much shocking. Obviously, this is all gonna change as you've got some teams up top that are gonna play each other. Notre Dame and Clemson are gonna square off again. Alabama probably gonna end up playing Florida. So Cincinnati's got a chance. You got Northwestern. If they stay unbeaten, and Ohio State stays unbeaten, they match up for a Big Ten championship game. So Northwestern's got a win and you're in kind of deal, because if they go undefeated and beat Ohio State in a Big Ten championship game, probably gonna get a lot of looks and some love from the committee, and to make a playoff appearance. So that'd be pretty cool for Northwestern. Other than that, that's just kind of an okay first release, and I guess we'll see where it goes from here. We got about another, I think December 19th, 20th, kind of when things kind of end up for the Big Ten and stuff like that. They'll be like the latest ones. I think they're saying everything's got to be done by the 20th. So college football, been a little boring as of late. Not a lot of marquee games, but we're at the point now where things are starting to heat up.
Whiteside?